Boksburg death toll has now risen to 26 as families, many try to make sense of what exactly happened. A lot of attention has been laid on the truck driver's conduct. Of course, we know that he's now been released. What's your reaction as the Truckers Association?
Good afternoon, Paul. We'd like to send our sincere condolences to the family. You know, it is just unfortunate that maybe the investigation had led to the release of the driver, and obviously it was not more of a head-on collision or an accident. It was a truck that was stuck under the bridge. But we would expect that maybe the company will be investigated further as to what was the legal route that the driver was supposed to take, and the measures that they have put in place before the driver left their yard, or maybe the issue of saying, like, if you've picked up a product in KZN, how did you land in Boksburg? So those are the things that we are expecting maybe the company to come and answer to it. But it's a painful situation, and as an association, we really feel sorry for the family.
Perhaps let's expand on the insight on the internal operations of the steps that would have needed to take place before the truck driver landed at that point in Boksburg. I mean, I understand that there's a lot of tracking that goes on and a lot of communication with the truck driver, especially carrying such dangerous chemicals.
Look, normally when the driver is leaving the yard, most of the trucks have got the drive cam, which is now more of a norm from the insurance company. They will have those recordings in the video itself, through a drive cam. And the other thing is that, it's either the driver will have a radio inside the truck itself, but there's always a communication in all the trucks that you see on the road. And, they will also have the toolbox talk where they talk to the driver. But in this incident, it's something that is happening for the first time. And also, it is something that it's very not understandable, because the petroleum or the fuel or the gas has got its own things, like more like policies that must be followed compared to a normal truck that you see. There must be a squash certificate relating to that, and their safety measures are very tight. And we don't understand how come the driver can be in that situation at that moment. But normally with the fuel and gas, I can tell you now, there's constant communication with the driver.
The driver in the explosion is said to be a member of an employment agency. The company has since released a statement saying the driver was experienced enough. What does it take to gauge experience? Are we talking the number of years or the technical know-how?
It's more on the number of years, because most of the insurance companies would advise the freight industry that you do not hire a person, less than 25 years old. It's normally like they become safer there. And the other thing is that experience will be based on the different number of routes that driver had taken previously and the companies that he has worked for. So more experience is based on that, and also the knowledge and the know-how. We are aware that normally the issue of the truck being stuck in the bridge, it happens, especially with the heavy load trucks, where they must flatten the tire so that their truck can be able to pass. So we are not quite sure in that situation that they were supposed to flatten all those tires and then allow the truck to pass through. So we don't understand why they were, it's either whether they were trying to move it in such a way that it ended up sparking some fire from the wall itself. But the proper way is to flatten the tires and the truck can be able to pass through.
There have been a lot of people who were perhaps from the area, community members who spoke to one of our reporters here on Newzroom Afrika, saying that the signage that reflects the height of the bridge is rusty and not visible. Does that in any form, indicate any sort of liability from the municipality?
Hence we said that it depends on the investigation. One cannot conclude now. And, if that signage was not there, obviously there's not going to be a fault on the driver. But either or, we've lost lives here. Everybody must take responsibility. As an association, we must take responsibility on teaching drivers more on the road. As a driver, you must take a responsibility on making sure that when you are driving a vehicle, you need to take care of the people that are around you. As a company, you must take the responsibility, knowing very well that anything can happen. That's a heavy-duty vehicle. That's a long vehicle. It's not a small car where everybody can get into the garage and drive it out. But it is something that is carrying a product that is very dangerous. So everybody must be blamed here, because we need to know very much so that such things can be avoided at any time. But with the municipality, I should think that they had maybe learned that they need to make sure that from time to time they fix their roads and make sure that the signage is clear. But at the end of the day, I believe that we must take all responsibility, because people have died here.
Mm-hmm. How much of the technicalities are involved within the licenses that one needs to also pass, the tests that need to be taken to qualify and be a respected, legitimate, experienced driver before you get into a vehicle such as the one that's resulted in the loss of life?
In South Africa, normally if you've got a code 14 and you have maybe had experience driving other vehicles, we tend to take that as an experience. But if you look at this industry of explosives, there's a squash certificate where the driver gets to be involved, to be trained furthermore. That's why there's signages all over the trailer where it says that do not, no smoking, no telephone, don't stand near a filling station. So those signages are a sign. They differ from other trucks. It is very clear there that this is a dangerous product that is on the road. So those things, they are taught much more compared to any driver that can drive a truck. So technically, that driver had been trained with how to deal with explosive, has been trained as to how to drive this truck, has been trained that if he saw any accident near him, he must not get close by. He must travel about 500 meters away.
Now, former drivers of Infinite Transport, which owns the gas tanker that exploded in Boksburg, say they were unfairly dismissed by the company, and that they're also crying foul to say that they were unfairly dismissed, and then a younger, less experienced driver was then roped in, which has now resulted in the tragedy. How much do you know about the unfair dismissal and those cries from those drivers?
Look, that's a labor matter issue there, and it does happen from time to time that you conflict with your employees, but they are coming at a time when there's an accident, and they must be sensitive enough to accommodate families that are going through this tragedy, and they must just stay calm, because the proper processes on this one is that they must go to the CCMA and lay their complaints there. But for now, people have died, and for now, people are still dying in hospitals, and for now, people are injured. So this is not the right time for them to bring in their labor issues, especially towards the company. The accident is there. The accident had happened. Let's give the company a space so that they can be able to fix their in-house with regard to the issues of making sure that going forward, there's no other accident that will happen.